In a world where magic is as common as the air we breathe, a child named Kiran is born into a prestigious family. Imagine a place where mythical creatures roam freely, coexisting with humans who wield the power to shape their environment at will. That's the world Kiran was born into, a world brimming with wonder and potential. Kiran's birth was not an ordinary event. In fact, it was foretold by a prophecy that whispered of a child who would leave an indelible mark on this magical world. Born into a family of prominence and abundance, one would think Kiran was destined to live a life of opulence, to walk the well-trodden path of wealth and status. But the winds of destiny had a different course charted for him. Little did they know, their son was destined for something far greater than their family's prestige. Growing up, Kiran led a life of privilege, but his true passion lay in the realm of magic. Born into a family of wealth and prestige, Kiran's childhood was far from ordinary. In a world where the mystical was just as real as the mundane, his fascination with magic was sparked at a tender age, a spark that soon turned into a blazing inferno. Kiran was not just a mere spectator in this world of magic. His innate abilities were evident from the start. He had a knack for conjuring spells and enchantments that left even the most seasoned magicians in awe. His affinity for magic was as natural as breathing, a talent that didn't go unnoticed. Word soon spread about the young prodigy, and he became a beacon of hope and intrigue in the magical community. His studies took him deep into the realm of the unknown. He delved into ancient texts, deciphered cryptic runes, and mastered complex spells that many could only dream of understanding. His thirst for knowledge was unquenchable, his determination unwavering. He was a student of magic in every sense of the word, but he was also a master in the making. Kiran's childhood was a tapestry of magic and privilege, a unique blend that shaped him into the person he would become. His journey was just beginning, his destiny yet to be fulfilled, his potential limitless. But with great power comes great responsibility. As Kiran grew older, the prophecy surrounding his birth began to unravel. Kiran, a boy born into opulence and power, found himself at the center of a prophecy that had lain dormant for centuries. The prophecy, foretold by the ancient seers, hinted at a great evil that would threaten the world. And the one destined to stand against this darkness, none other than Kiran himself. The prophecy spoke of a child born under the constellation of the Phoenix, a child gifted in magic and a child of noble blood. All of these pointed unmistakably to Kiran. The prophecy stated, "In the time of direst peril, a beacon of hope shall rise. Born of royal lineage, guided by the phoenix's flame, he shall wield magic like no other and face the shadow that seeks to engulf the world." This revelation sent tremors through Kiran's existence. He was no longer just a wealthy child in a world of magic and mythical creatures. He was a beacon of hope, the world's savior. The weight of this destiny was immense, the burden heavy, but Kiran, resilient and brave, chose to shoulder it. He accepted his fate with a determination that belied his tender years. His family too was affected by this revelation. Their son was not simply their pride anymore, he was the world's. They were scared, of course, but their fear was tinged with pride. They supported Kiran, providing him with the training he needed, nurturing his magic, and preparing him for the battle that lay ahead. The prophecy also spoke of a group of 9, a syndicate that would rise from the shadows, bringing with them a wave of destruction. This was the great evil Kiran was destined to face. A force so potent, so dark, that it threatened to annihilate the world. Yet in the face of such overwhelming odds, Kiran stood resolute. He was ready to face whatever came his way. His resolve was unshakable, his spirit indomitable. Because he knew he wasn't just fighting for himself, he was fighting for everyone. The prophecy was clear. Kiran was the world's only hope against the impending doom. Unbeknownst to many, a group of 9 individuals known as the Shadow Syndicate were plotting the world's downfall. These were no ordinary villains, but sorcerers of the darkest order, each wielding a unique and formidable power, each with a heart as black as the night. Born from the shadows, they sought to plunge the world into an eternal darkness, an age of fear and despair. The Shadow Syndicate was an enigma, shrouded in mystery, their identities unknown to the world. They were whispered about in hushed tones, and feared by all who knew of their existence. Their rise to power was swift and ruthless. They had infiltrated every corner of the magical community, sowing seeds of discord and spreading their poisonous influence. Their leader, the infamous and feared Draco Maleficarum, was a man of unparalleled cruelty and power. His ambition knew no bounds, and his thirst for control was unquenchable. Under his rule, the Shadow Syndicate had become a force of unprecedented terror, their name alone enough to send chills down the spine of the bravest of warriors. Their plans were as sinister as they were ambitious. They sought to harness the power of the ancient mythical creatures, bend them to their will, and use them as weapons of mass destruction. They dreamt of a world where they were the puppet masters, pulling the strings, and everyone else danced to their tune. The magical community trembled in fear, paralyzed by the looming threat. Their world was on the brink of a catastrophe, a precipice from which there was no return. The Shadow Syndicate was a tempest, a storm that threatened to engulf everything in its path, leaving nothing but destruction in its wake. But amidst this darkness, there was a ray of hope. A beacon of light in the form of a young boy named Kiran. He was the prodigy, the chosen one, destined to save the world from the clutches of the Shadow Syndicate. The Shadow Syndicate was a force to be reckoned with, and Kiran was the only one who could stop them. His journey had just begun, a journey fraught with danger, but one that held the promise of a brighter future. The fateful day arrived when Kiran would confront the Shadow Syndicate. In a world where magic was as common as breathing and mythical creatures roamed freely, Kiran, the heir of a wealthy family, found himself standing at the precipice of destiny. He was about to face off against the Shadow Syndicate, a nefarious group of 9 individuals hell-bent on bringing about total annihilation. The journey that led him to this point was filled with challenges that would make even the bravest soul quiver. Yet Kiran embraced every test with an unwavering resolve, a testament to the courage that lay within him. He had been thrust into a world of magic and privilege from birth, but it was his innate strength of character that truly set him apart. Leading up to the encounter, Kiran had to confront his worst fears and doubts. Would he be strong enough to face the Syndicate? Could he protect his loved ones and the world he held dear? These questions plagued his mind, but he refused to let them sway his determination. Kiran's journey was not just about the trials he faced, but also about the friendships he forged along the way. Together with his loyal companions, he navigated through treacherous landscapes, faced perilous beasts, and learned to harness the true potential of his magic. Each struggle, each victory brought him one step closer to his destiny. And then the day of reckoning arrived. The Shadow Syndicate, in all their eerie glory, awaited Kiran. He stood before them, not as a scared boy, but as a formidable adversary. His eyes gleamed with a resolve that spoke volumes about his journey and the strength he had acquired. Fear was a distant memory. Hesitation, a forgotten companion. Kiran was ready to face the darkness that threatened to engulf his world. The air was thick with anticipation as the world watched, their hearts pounding in their chests. As Kiran stood before the Shadow Syndicate, the world held its breath, wondering what happens next. And then, just as the battle was about to begin, a hush descends, the world holding its breath. Kiran stands tall, the weight of destiny heavy on his shoulders. His magic pulses, a beacon against the encroaching shadows. The Shadow Syndicate looms, their nefarious intent crackling in the air. The world teeters on the precipice of destruction, the stakes higher than ever. The tension is palpable, a thread pulled too taut. Darkness fell, engulfing everything. What will become of Kiran and the world as we know it?